What's up, guys? Quick intro for the people. This one we're going to be doing a little bit of hip movement, some hamstring opening, some shoulder stuff, a little bit of meditation, and we're going to do Dirga Pranayama, which is the 3-part breath. So get your mat and let's do it. So starting in a seat, we'll just start with a few gentle rolls of the head, neck, and shoulders. Allowing the breath to start to slow down a bit. And then roll it around the opposite direction. Maybe you sync the breath, inhaling as you lift the head and roll it back. And then exhaling as you drop the chin and roll it forward. And then we'll level the chin and inhale the hands up overhead. And then turn the palms and exhale them down. One more time like that, just inhaling, kind of like the billows. Exhale, drop it down. Now we'll get the spine involved a little bit. So inhale the hands up overhead. Drop the left arm and lean over to the side. Take a few gentle kind of bobs here. Letting the right rib cage and right obliques kind of open up and wake up. And then we'll swap it out. So inhale it back up through center. Right hand to floor, left hand up and over. And again, kind of like swaying like a tree here a bit. And then a gentle twist. So come up through center, take 2 hands high to get tall, and then twist over that left shoulder. Using the right hand as kind of a fulcrum point, left hand to keep the spine tall. Look over the left shoulder. And then we'll inhale back through center. Take both hands high again. We want to get tall whenever we twist, and then twist it to the right. Again, hand behind you, keeping you tall. Hand in front of you is like a lever point. And then we'll come back through center. Look forward as you weave the fingers together. Turn the palms, push the palms away, drop the chin to the chest, and round the spine. Empty the lungs. And then inhale, reach the palms to the sky. One more time. Exhale, push down and away. And then inhale, sit tall and reach up. As you exhale, keep the spine tall as you take the hands to the thighs. Settle the eyes. So that might mean closing them. It might mean finding a little speck on the floor to soften your gaze too. And then take 3 casual breaths. When I say casual, I mean just let go of the expectation of meditating the right way and just breathe in and out. 2 more times, softly at your own pace. Now as we settle in a bit here, we'll practice Dirga Pranayama, which means 3-part breath. And so the 3 parts of the breath are the low belly, the ribs, and the collarbone. So maybe you like to take a hand to your navel. And as you sit a bit taller, breathe the breath into your palm right at the navel. And then exhale, drop it out. And that might be a bit challenging here because it's exercising the diaphragm. So breathing into the belly, softening out. And then 2 more times like that. And 1 more time. So these breath movements can feel a little unnatural at first, just to kind of capture the neuromuscular control and the awareness. Now we're going to move that up from the belly to the low ribs. So as you inhale, fill the belly, and then fill the low ribs, and then drop the breath down from the ribs to the belly. Filling in, breathing out. One more time. Really let yourself expand. And then release. Now the third part here is we'll take the breath all the way up to the collarbone. So filling the belly, low ribs, and then all the way to the top. And as you exhale, you drop from the chest, ribs, belly. And now that we have the full breath here, you can take that 3 or 4 more times at your own pace. And if this breath isn't connecting with you, just release it and breathe naturally. But maybe we'll take 2 or 3 more rounds here. This type of breath can be very calming to the nervous system. Also can balance the oxygen and carbon dioxide levels in the blood. And release that flow whenever you're ready and just kind of find a normal, natural breath here. And then on your next inhale, sit a bit taller. And as you exhale, drop a bit deeper into your seat. If you'd like, you can bring the hands together at the center of the chest, drop the chin, and just take a moment of gratitude. Deep gratitude for the body, gratitude for the yoga practice, and gratitude that you took the time to dive into this practice over the next hour. Deep gratitude. And we'll flutter the eyes open, and we'll start on all fours here. So lean yourself forward, and we'll start on all fours, and just start with warming up the wrists by kind of circling over the wrists. So as you circle, grip the mat with your fingertips. And you can let these circles be as big or as small as you want to. You can get the hips involved, you can go all the way back to a child's pose, or you could just stay kind of circled right over the wrists. And then start to roll it around the other way. And so we don't take much time thinking about the wrists. We just sort of like have them there, and we don't spend enough time focusing on getting them awake and ready. And a yoga practice can be very demanding on the wrists. So we just want to take a minute and kind of get them ready. So now we're going to externally rotate. So we're going to turn the thumbs out to the sides with the heels of the hands facing forward on one or both hands. So the heels of the hands are facing forward, fingers towards the knees, and we're just going to rock back and forth a few times. And so the flexion at the wrist here can be kind of intense, and naturally the heels of the hands will lift up a little bit, and that's okay, because that means that you're coming to the end range of motion. We should be feeling a bit of a stretch on the part of the forearms that you can see clearly right now. And then let that go, just find a normal position, and we're gonna walk it forward into a puppy pose. So from our tabletop position, the hips stay stacked over the knees, and we're gonna walk the hands forward until we can take the forehead to the mat. Now, if you can see me in the video here, notice that my tail is right over my knees. So this is a nice shoulder opener, and you can even kind of experiment with protracting and retracting the shoulder blades, rotating at the shoulder joint to do so. If you want more intensity, you can bring the chin to the floor and look to the thumbs. Now this can be kind of wild, right? It can be compression, can create compression in the cervical vertebrae. So if that feels uncomfortable in your neck, just keep the forehead to the floor. This is gonna open up the chest and the shoulders, the side body. We'll stay for 2 more full breaths in. So as you breathe in, expand the rib cage out to the side. And as you breathe out, see if you can drop the chest a bit lower. One more, breathing in. And then again, kind of drop a bit lower. No big effort, just kind of trying it out. Engage the core to protect the low back as you lift yourself back up to tabletop. Walk the hands back underneath the body. Take the right arm right underneath the nose. So wrist, elbow, shoulder, and reach the left hand up to the sky. So a little twist here. And then swap it out. Take the left hand right underneath the nose and reach the right hand up to the sky. Take two hands down to the floor. Walk your way forward to a plank pose. So the hands come right underneath the shoulders, lift the knees, and just kind of rock back and forth a few times. So this can kind of wake up the calves and the Achilles tendon. Engage the core. It's a slight tuck of the tail. The upper spine's pushing up to the sky, so you have a slight rounding in the upper back. And then push it back, downward dog. Take a few pedals of the feet, maybe dropping a heel, lifting a heel. Maybe shake the head no. And then we'll do a few hip warm-ups here. So lift the left leg high, bend the knee, stack the hip. Start to make circles with that left knee. So like you have a laser pointer on your knee, and you're trying to draw circles on the wall behind you. Circles can be big or small. And then we're gonna bring that left foot into a lizard. So take that left foot to the outside of the left pinky finger, drop the back knee, and then walk the hands forward. Let the head hang. 2 breaths here. Now, if you have any tightness in that right psoas, hip flexor area, then if you can see me in the video, you might be up here a little bit. So let that right hip go down. So the right hip is the one behind you. Let that one go down a bit as you walk the hands forward. And then take the hands underneath the shoulders, push back, downward dog. So same moves, other side, lift the right leg high, bend the knee, stack the hip. And we'll start to find those circles with the right knee. So again, it's like you're kind of drawing a circle with the knee on the wall behind you. And then lizard lunge. Take the right foot to the outside of the right pinky finger, drop the back knee, and then we'll walk the hands forward. Again, that cue from the other side, if the left hip is way back, let the hip go forward and down. So any tightness on that left hip flexor is going to hold your hips back towards the left heel. Let the head drop. And then hands underneath the shoulders. We're going to step the left foot forward to meet in a forward fold. So wide-legged forward fold. Just the big toes are on the mat here. Let yourself kind of hang and drop. Toe heel the feet together. We're going to bend the knees a little bit, keep the chin to the chest, and slowly roll up to stand. So let each vertebrae kind of move and articulate independently. When you get to the top, roll the shoulders back, turn the palms forward. Tadasana. So just take 2 breaths before we start moving a bit more vigorously. Check in with the heart. Check in with the depth of the breath. Bring the hands together at the center of the chest. We do 3 Surya Namaskar A's, or sun salutation A. So inhale, reach the hands up overhead. As you exhale, fold to the floor. As you inhale, take the hands to the shins, reach the crown of your head forward, and then exhale, fold. Hands to the floor, step 1 foot back, step the other foot back. We're in plank pose. Whenever we're in plank, you can always drop the knees if you choose. You can lower to the belly or to chaturanga, which is like a half push-up. Pull through cobra or upward facing dog. And then as you exhale, push your way back, downward facing dog. Full breath in. Slow breath out. Bend the knees, high heels, look at the thumbs, step or hop your way forward, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the hands up to the sky, big breath in, maybe a back bend. Exhale, hands to heart Tadasana. Still moving here. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, fold to the floor. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Hands to floor, step the other foot back, whichever the other foot is for you. Step both feet back, plank pose. Lower through Chaturanga, pulling the elbows into the body. Pull back up into Cobra or upward facing dog, and then push it back, downward dog. Steady the breath. On your next exhale, high heels, bent knees, look at thumbs, step or maybe hop your way forward, forward, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the hands up to the sky. Squeeze the glutes as you find a back bend, opening the chest to the sky. Exhale, hands to the heart. One last round here. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold to the floor. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, half lift. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands. You can step back to plank, or if you like, you can hop back to a low plank. Pull through Cobra or upward facing dog, and then roll back, downward dog. 3 steady breaths here. So firm the hands to the floor. Take a little micro bend in the knees so you can push the tail up to the sky, prioritizing length in the spine. Push the whole hand into the floor. Pull the navel into the body. One more big breath in and out. On your next inhale, lift the right leg high. We're going to add on some stuff here. Roll through that right ankle. And then bend the knee, stack that hip. And then level the hips, low lunge. We're going to pull the right foot in between the hands. Pause in your low lunge. Keep the left hand to the floor as you reach the right hand up to the sky for a twisted low lunge. Take your eyes down, take your hands down. Drop the back knee, half splits. Fold over that right leg. Think nose to toes. A little bend in that right knee. We're gonna flow through that 2 times. So take the right foot to the floor, lift the back knee, left hand under the nose as you reach the right hand to the sky. On your next exhale, half splits, eyes down, back knee down, fold over the right leg. One last time, inhaling, bringing the hips forward, lifting the back knee, reaching for the sky with the right hand. Let that left hip drop down a bit. And then back to half splits, back knee down, fold over that right leg. Anjaneyasana, or a crescent lunge. Take the foot to the floor, reach the hands up overhead. Option to interlace the fingers into Kali Mudra. So you weave the fingers together, let the index finger be loose, push the index finger pads into each other as you roll the shoulders back and lift the heart up to the sky. Stay here or interlace the hands behind the back in a yoga mudra shape. So that's weaving all the fingers together. And then roll the arm bones back as you lift the heart up and then extend through the elbows. So as you hold this position for another full breath in, let that left hip drop. At the same time, the chest is going up. And then here's our transition. We're gonna come through Warrior 3. So you can keep the hands together, or you can unbind them if you like. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, and then shoot that left foot up off the floor. Now if that transition was a little wobbly for you, then bring yourself forward and find the landing, however you need to get there. We're gonna soften into Warrior 2. So unhook the hands, take the hands to the heart, soften the right knee, and drop the left foot back, Warrior 2. Find your breath, nice and steady. Then Then we're gonna flow through some spinal movements. So as you inhale, turn the right hand up and lean it back towards the back corner of whatever room you're in. And then as you exhale, bring that right elbow to the thigh and reach the left hand to the other corner, Utthita Parsvakonasana. Coming back up, reaching the right hand back. And then exhaling, side angle. One last time here. Inhale, reaching it up and back. And as you exhale, side angle. We'll hold our side angle here for 3 breaths. So this is a challenging breath to hold 3 breaths on, or it's a challenging asana to hold for 3 breaths. So use your support how you need to. Pull the belly into the body, rotate and externally rotate that left shoulder, drop the front hip, and maybe you look up. One more good breath in. Reach through the tips of the fingers to the outside of that left foot. On your next inhale, come through warrior 2. We're gonna come into a wide-legged fold. So straighten that right leg, turn all the toes to face the long edge of your mat. Take the heels of the hands to the hips and press the hips forward. Engage the glutes and the quads. Lift the heart up. Try to bring the elbows towards each other behind the back. And then on your exhale, start to fold your way forward, forward fold. You can take the hands off the hips and take them to the floor. Give yourself a breath, just kind of hang here. Maybe shake the head. We'll find those same little twists that we started class with in the lunge, except we'll do it from here. So take the hands to the floor, half lift like you're about to chaturanga. Take the left hand underneath the nose, so it's wrist, elbow, shoulder, and then reach the right hand up to the sky. Hold for a breath here as you pull that right shoulder into the body. Keep pushing into the outside of your left foot. And then your next exhale, swap it out. So left hand to floor, right hand to sky. So notice if you have any imbalances here. That is normal and okay. So maybe the right arm went higher than the left, or maybe the other way around. It doesn't really matter. We're just kind of playing a game where we notice. On your next exhale, take the hands to the floor. Stay in the wide-legged fold and grab the elbows and let yourself sort of hang here. We're going to come back into that twisted lunge the way we found ourselves at the beginning of the sequence. So take the hands underneath the shoulders. Turn to a low lunge over the right foot, lifting the back heel. Take the left hand to the floor, reach the right hand back up to the sky. Half splits to end the sequence here. So drop the left knee, fold over that right leg, half splits. You can think nose to toes, or you can think forehead to knee this time. And then chaturanga, take the foot forward, take the hands forward, step the right foot back. As you exhale, lower, elbows scraping the ribs as you do. Inhale through cobra or up dog, rolling the arm bones back. And then exhale, downward facing dog. 3 good breaths here. So let the breath sort of settle you after all that stretching and moving. Just kind of feel the breath, feel the heart. And then on your next inhale, lift the left leg, rotate through that ankle a few times. Let your standing heel drop. And then low lunge. Hands, or foot in between the hands rather. Find the low lunge. Take a pause here and just kind of feel that hip. And then right hand underneath the nose as you reach the left hand up to the sky. And we're gonna cycle through that little half split flow 2 times. So take the hands to the floor, drop the back knee, and fold over that left leg. Starting out thinking nose to toes on this side. Pushing it forward to that revolved low lunge. Right hand under the shoulder, back knee up, left hand high. Let the hips drop as you open the heart. And then half splits. Hands to floor, back knee down, fold over that left leg. One last time here. Drop the left foot. Right hand supports you as you reach up with the left hand. Drop the hips, spiral the chest up. And then here's our last half splits. Hands to floor, fold over that left leg. Anjaneyasana, or crescent lunge. So bring that right hip forward as you reach the hands up overhead. So a couple of cues here. We think about turning the elbows and the triceps to face forward as we pull the shoulders down the back. Option to keep the hands kind of flared up to the sky, or Kali Mudra, interlacing the fingers, letting the index finger kind of point to the sky. Breathe. And then stay here if you choose, or neutralize the spine a little bit so you can take the hands behind the back, weave the fingers together, roll the arm bones back, pointing the elbows to the back of the room, and then lengthen through the elbows. Now as we have this, we let the hips go down, we let the heart go up, and look through your eyebrows here. Find the breath, be steady. And now we're gonna come through warrior three. So neutralize the spine, lift the back knee, which can be an effort in of itself, and then we're gonna shoot up off that right foot and find warrior three. Again, the hands can be bound or they can be unbound, it's your call. And if you didn't catch the warrior three, just find yourself there, however you need to get there. Right heel pushing back and up. Bring the hands to the heart. Here's our warrior two transition. So soften into that left leg, drop the back foot, arms to the sides, warrior two. So I'm facing away from you guys here, but it might be nice to be able to see this from a different angle as you're practicing. So push into the outside of that back foot, drop into that front knee, flip the left palm up as you inhale it back. As you exhale, side angle, Utthita Parsvottanasana. Left elbow to thigh, right hand reaching diagonally. Full breath in, sweep it up and back. Big dramatic moves of the shoulders and the spine. Exhale, side angle. One last time, inhaling it up and back. And then here's our side angle to hold for 3 breaths. So think about the palm facing down. Drop into that front hip. You can have your elbow on the thigh, or depending on how open your hips feel, you can take that left hand to the ankle or shin. Take a breath. On your next inhale, come up through warrior two. And then here's our wide angle fold. So straighten the right legs, turn the toes to the long edge, take the heels of the hands to the low back sacrum area, press the hips forward as you lift the heart up. Elbows are pulling towards each other. And then on your next exhale, fold into a wide-legged fold. You can let the hands go and come to the floor and just kind of be lazy in the fold here. So let some of that effort settle. Steady the breath. And then something a little different here other than those shoulder twists we were doing. So take the hands underneath the shoulders, turn the left toes so they face the corner of your mat, and then walk the hands over there, bending into that left hip and left knee. And then we'll swap it out. So straighten through the right leg, turn the toes forward, turn the right toes to the corner, walk the hands over to the side. And so we're gonna cycle back and forth between these two, so kind of pivoting the toes to one corner as we drop the hips in between that other foot, and then rock it back to the opposite foot. Kind of back and forth here. Now if you have Skandasana and something you like to play with, here's a spot to play with it. So we're gonna stay for another 3 breaths. If you'd like, you can drop into a full Skandasana where you bend deeply into one of the legs as the other one shoots the toes up, and then shoot your hips over to the other side, dropping into the opposite knee, lifting the toe up. Now, if you really want to challenge yourself, you can take the hands off the floor as you rock it left and right. Now this can be kind of intense, but if you still want more intensity, trying to build a bit more flexibility and strength, reach the hands diagonally away from the heart as you drop the hips left and right one more time. Next time you're bent into that right knee, we're going to push all the way up into warrior two. So push into the right foot, warrior two over your left toes. So bending into the left leg, dropping the hips down. Now we're going to spiral the hands all the way to the floor for that twisted lunge. So lift the back heel, right hand under the face, reach the left hand up to the sky. And then a half splits to end it. So drop the back knee, fold over the left leg. And then again, if you'd like, you can think nose to toes, or you can think forehead to knee. On your next inhale, coming forward, chaturanga, step the left foot back. As you exhale, lower. Inhale, lift, pull through cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward dog. Drop the knees, find child's pose. So let the hips rest on the heels, let the forehead come to the floor, child's pose. Take 4 good breaths here. So on each inhale, let the belly, ribs, and then collarbones fill, just like the beginning of practice. And you let the exhales drop down the spine. One more, breathing in. And exhale, letting go. Downward facing dog. Take the hands to the floor. Lift the hips. Let the head drop. We're gonna tippy toe all the way until we find a forward fold at the top of our mat. For gorilla pose. So toe heel the feet about hips width distance apart, and that's roughly 2 fists in between the big toes. And then lift up your palms, slide the palms underneath. It's called Padahastasana in Sanskrit, also gorilla pose. So once you have the feet on the hands, dig the toes in and get a little light in the heels. Now try to avoid leaning too far off the heels because you'll mess your balance up. But roll the shoulders back, drop the head. So you can kind of play here, bobbing, lifting the hips. You can even sway the hips side to side and get a different hamstring sensation. Kind of like you're rolling a marble from pocket to pocket. And then softly let that grip go. Toe heel the big toes to touch. Bend the knees, chin to chest, slowly roll your way up to stand. Once you get to the top, roll the arm bones back, turn the palms forward, level the chin. So we'll do one last balancing sequence on our feet. So inhale, reach the hands around and up. We'll play with eagle pose a little bit. So take the right arm underneath the left, bend at the elbows, take the knuckles together or the palms, and then drop the tush down and sweep the right leg over the thigh. Now you might feel comfortable having your legs kind of crossed like you're in a chair. You might feel comfortable having the big toe to the floor, or you might like to wrap the right foot behind the calf. Now keep the legs bound, but uncross the arms. Take the arms out to a T and open the heart. Pull the shoulders blades back, and as you inhale, take the hands up overhead. And if you fall out, it's cool. Just find yourself back in it. As you exhale, cactus the arms. One last time, sweep the hands around and up. Exhale, cactus. Bring the hands to the center of the chest. We're gonna find tree pose. So take the right foot to the inner shin. You can support it with a kickstand on the floor, or we can pull that right foot up to the inner thigh. can stay here, we can grow our branches. If you want to work some shoulder opening, we can take the left hand behind the back to grab on, whoopsies, to grab on to that right hip. As a counterbalance, we can take the right arm out on the diagonal and just breathe. So we're creating quite a bit of sensation, that left calf and ankle, and that's okay. Just kind of breathe and deal with it. And then when you're ready, we'll take the hands to the heart, take the right knee forward, take the right heel forward, drop the foot down. Now before you want to shake out that left leg, just let it settle for a moment. Let the echoes of that kind of dissipate. And then we'll move over to the other side. So inhale, reach the hands around and up. As you exhale, left arm underneath the right, bend at the elbows, backs of the hands together or palms together, drop your tush, and then cross the left leg over the right. So we're trying to cross above the knee. So again, you can kind of post up like you're seated in a chair. You can kickstand the big toe to the floor as a support, or you can wrap behind the calf. Keep the legs down as you take the arms out to a T. Take a big breath in, big expansive breath. And then we'll take the hands up overhead. Exhale, cactus. So we, like a field goal pose, pull the shoulders together, push the elbows back, and then inhale it up. Exhale, pull it down and back. Hands to heart, tree pose. So that left foot can come to the inner shin, kickstand, or thigh. You might need a little help to get to the thigh. Avoid the knee. And then if you like, you can take the right hand behind the back to grab the inner thigh of your left leg. Left hand can be on the thigh or out on the diagonal for a counterbalance. Settle the breath. And then when you're ready, take the hands to the heart. Turn the left knee forward, kick through the heel, slowly lower it down. Just take a moment here, drop the chin. Take a moment of gratitude for all the effort you put in on your feet here. A lot of stretching, a lot of intensity, some muscle burning. It's a real gift to be able to move the body the way we did. We transition our way to the belly. We'll go through a vinyasa to get there. So wherever you are, stepping to the top of the mat, inhale the hands up overhead, big breath in, maybe a back bend. As you exhale, take the hands all the way to the floor. Just like before, inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Chaturanga step or hop. Lower all the way to the belly this time. Make a little pillow by taking one palm over the other. Drop the forehead to that little pillow. Let the nose rest in between the thumbs. Let the ankles drop to the sides. And find that 3-part breath again. So filling the belly, ribs, collarbones empty, ribs empty, then belly. 2 more rounds like that. I had a yoga teacher in the early days of learning who said that yoga is just a fancy breath practice. And we often get really caught up in the movement and the stretching and strength and balance. But only if we're keeping the breath are we really in the poses. Take the forehead to the floor, hands under the shoulders, push back, child's pose. And we'll roll our way up for Ustrasana, our camel pose. So standing on the knees, We can tuck the toes or keep them untucked. We'll start with a little bit of a different kind of camel setup. So we'll find the yoga mudra behind the back, and then we'll roll the arm bones back a little bit. So just like when we were in our standing asanas, we can lengthen through the elbows, reaching the fists towards the spot in between our calves. Engage the glutes a little bit to protect the low back. And now we can stay here just finding a straightforward heart opening, or we can neutralize the spine and then take our fist to the hips and then pull the elbow back. So right now I have my fists on the left hip, if you're with me. Pulling the left elbow in, and then drop the right ear to the right shoulder. So we have all these subtle muscles in our neck, and we tend to kind of hold a bit. Drop the chin to the chest, take the hands towards the tail, and then swap it out. So fist over to the right hip, pull the right elbow in, and then drop left ear, left shoulder. Now the legs are still active here, pushing the knees into the floor, engaging the glutes to protect any kinking from the low back. And the heart has a little bit of buoyancy to it, not a huge back bend, just kind of lifting it up a bit. And now unhook the fists and lean back and take your right hand to the right heel. From there, reach the left hand forward with the thumb facing up, palm facing in, and then start to reach that left hand up to the sky. So we can reach straight up or we can reach diagonally back. Now the tendency here, if you can see me in the video, is immediately people start to kink at the hips and drop their hips back if they're trying to race the hand back. So don't worry about how far back the hand goes. Think about the hips facing forward. And then we'll swap it out. So take the left hand to the left heel, and then reach the right hand forward to kind of settle into the shoulder, and then up. Palm facing in, knuckles out. And again, if you can feel or see yourself kind of dropping the tail back towards the heels, press the hips forward as you reach to the corner, that right hand. We'll inhale, come back through center, take two hands to the heart. Keep the toes tucked as you drop back to sit on the heels. So this can be a nice stretch for the bottoms of the feet. And if you're like me, the pinky toe kind of hides away. So see if you can get that pinky toe involved, maybe with the hands. And then just drop the chin to the chest, let the spine kind of settle. If you're feeling a whole bunch of super crazy intensity in the bottoms of the feet, you can take a step back, or you can just kind of settle in for a breath. This is a very safe position for the feet, but it's not one that we typically find ourselves in. And we'll find one more camel pose. So standing up on the knees, you can untuck the toes if that feels better. It might feel nice to relieve the flexion in the toes. We'll inhale the hands up overhead. And just like when we were in eagle pose on the feet, we're gonna cactus the arms out to the sides. Pull the shoulder blades together, lift the heart up. Now we can stay here. This is a lot of effort, a lot of core strengthening as well as heart opening. Or we can take the hands to the hips and press the hips forward. So this is just like we accessed in our wide-legged fold. The glutes are fired on, not like squeezing the glutes, but just sort of like turning them on. Press the hips forward, let the elbows come towards each other, and look up. So in camel Ustrasana, the sternum is the camel's hump. So think about lifting up through the center of the chest. Stay for a full breath in. Stay for the breath out. And then on your next inhale, start to neutralize the spine. Find tabletop. So take the hands to the floor. Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. And drop the chin to the chest. Let yourself hang here for a moment. And then we'll find puppy pose again. So we're doing this again to see how different it is after we do all that heart and shoulder opening. So the knees and hips are in line as we walk the hands forward and bring the forehead to the floor. Now again, some people will feel comfortable with taking the chin to the floor and looking at the thumbs. Other people won't. So just check in and see how you feel. And for 3 breaths, imagine that your lungs are like a balloon in a barrel. And you're trying to fill and touch all sides of the barrel. So we're breathing into side ribs, back of the rib cage, and through the heart space. And then each exhale, you're letting yourself drop into the shoulders a bit more. Now if you feel any pinchiness in the shoulders, take the thumbs farther away from each other. Sort of like taking the hands to the corners of the mat. One more good breath here. Fill the barrel. Stay for the exhale. And then we'll slowly unwind ourselves here, coming back to our tabletop position. So we'll work in a little pigeon pose. So tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward dog. Might feel nice to shake the head, especially if you took your chin to the floor during our puppy pose. And so here's our pigeon. Pull the right knee to the right wrist, drop the shin down. Use the left leg to kind of walk you back a bit, and then we'll drop to the elbows if that feels comfortable. Some people, depending on how your hips feel, you might want to find basically the same thing we just did for puppy pose, except in this position. So you're adding all that benefits of that puppy pose, and then pigeon at the same time. Five good breaths here. So pigeon pose is all about letting go. So we have all this tightness in the hips that we tend to hold on to. And it takes a little bit of time to get somewhere with that. So on each exhale, let yourself kind of drop a bit into it. Know that you're in a safe position. And you kind of release the hip. 2 more good breaths here. Slowly use the hands to walk us back up. We'll sit over on the right hip and then swing that left leg forward into Janu Shirsasana. So the right foot comes into the inner thigh. We can take a soft bend in that left knee and think about folding ribs to thigh. Now if we can keep the ribs and thigh connected, then we can start to lengthen that left leg a bit more. If you want to add a side body stretch, we can reach that right hand to the outside of the long leg on your left foot. And if you want to add a little twist, we can take the left hand and thread it through that gap and push on that right thigh, which is your bent knee thigh. We can allow ourselves to think left ear to the knee. Now, if you have any bulging discs or any consideration like that, just take a step back from this because it might be a compromised position. Now, whatever we have, we'll let go. Slowly let the spine stack back up. Sit up nice and tall. And we'll find a rotation of the spine here. So pull the left knee in. Left foot can come to the center of the mat, or we can hook it over that right thigh. Sit up tall and then twist over that left thigh. Just like the beginning of class, the hand behind you is supporting you, getting you tall, and the right hand is sort of your lever, giving you a bit of torque. We'll slowly let that twist go, but we're going to twist the other way. So keep the legs the way they are. Take the left hand to the left ankle. Push into that shin as you look over the right shoulder. And then we'll come back through center. Here's our transition into our pigeon on the other side. So the left leg is already ready for it. So we just take the left leg off. We lean our way forward. And then use that right leg to walk it back. Now if that didn't translate to you, you can just come into downward dog, take left knee, left wrist, drop the shin down, use the long leg to walk you back, and then take the elbows down to the floor. And then again, same cues on the other side. You can just kind of melt and drop into this, or you can find that puppy position by walking the hands forward and taking the chin to the floor. For most bodies, that would be super intense. Long, steady breaths. One more good breath here. Filling the ribs, filling the tops of the lungs. And then exhale, letting it out. Start to walk ourselves back upright. Sit over on the left hip. Swing the right leg long for Janu Shirsasana. So you might want to square yourself up on the mat if you like. Left foot into the thigh, a soft bend in that right knee so we can connect the ribs, and then we can start to fold over that right leg. Now again, just like the other side, you can find a straight up fold, just like this. Or if you like, you can take that left arm towards the outside of that foot. And another step to add on, if you like, is threading that right arm underneath to push on your bent knee thigh. And so that pull with the long arm and the push with the bent arm kind of opens up the left rib cage and the left obliques and some of the low back stuff too. So oftentimes when we have any sort of issue, we sort of have to look around where that issue is. So we have low back stuff, it could be hamstrings, it could be obliques, and it's just sort of, or hip tightness. It just sort of manifests as low back stuff because that's where we're compensating. Slowly undo what we have. Start to roll our way back up. Sit up nice and tall. Bend the right knee. Right foot can come in front of the shin or hook it over the thigh. Hug the knee with the left arm, and then the right arm is behind the body, keeping you tall. Keep the legs the way they are, and now we'll twist the other way. Just take the right hand to the ankle or shin. Left hand supports you as you sit tall. Find a twist the opposite direction. Untwist the body. Find yourself center mat. Take the heels to the corner of the mat. Flare the toes back up. Reach the arms forward as a counterbalance. We're going to roll to the back, but we're going to do it one vertebrae at a time. So from the sacrum to the lumbar spine, to the low ribs, to the shoulder blades, to the shoulders, to the head, to the hands. Shavasana. So once you find your Shavasana, put a little weight in the back of the head to roll the shoulder blades under the body. Let the feet fall to the sides. Let the palms turn up. It might be nice to take a full breath in through the nose. And then sigh it out the mouth. So let the mind rest for a moment here. And if you're tempted to think where you ought to be or remember anything from your day, just come back to breathing. The sensations in the body. Put in a lot of work today in practice. And maybe you can notice any of the echoing of that effort and stretch and breath. Start to deepen the breath. Maybe find a few wiggles of the fingers and toes. Rolling through the wrists, maybe bending at the elbows. And then bending the knees. Reaching the hands up overhead, good morning stretch. Pushing the feet into the floor, reaching the arms long. And then on your exhale, rolling over to one side. Taking a pause here, just in this little ball, kind of soft position. And then supporting yourself however you need to come up to a seat to wrap up our class. So that seat could be cross-legged, could be on the shins, but once you find yourself there, sit tall, settle the eyes. And we'll sit for just 3 breaths. So you may find it useful to say in your mind's eye, I am breathing in, and I am breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Fill up and let go. If you'd like, you can bring the hands together at the center of the chest, drop the chin. Gratitude for the practice, gratitude for your body, gratitude for the moment. Working in the practice, working with the body and the breath allows us to live in the moment. Because that's all there is. This moment and the next. So it was an honor to teach. I had a lot of fun today. Namaste.